Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to give you 5 easy tips that you can use in Lightroom to improve your photography, plus a pro tip at the end. Here on my channel I share with you my travel and my photography and some of the ways how I pay for this travel. And what I'm going to be sharing with you guys over the next 2 months are some epic photographic locations here in the Pacific Northwest. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you do not miss any future episodes. I have been filming everywhere from the shores of the Pacific Ocean to the very highest peaks in the North Cascades. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. All right, let's get on with the 5 tips. Tip number 1, there are two check boxes that you can click in Lightroom to take care of two very common problems. First of all, let's go ahead and scroll down here and you guys will see we have one to enable profile corrections. That's because whenever you're shooting with a lens, there may be some distortion. So the manufacturers have taken their time to create some algorithms to figure out how to undistort your images. But it's the second box I'm going to show you that's really cool. Let's go ahead and zoom in really tight on this image. Now you might be able to see on some of these details where I go from dark to light. Here on the left there it's kind of blue, and on the right it's kind of red. This is called chromatic aberration. Essentially the light is splitting like it does when you shine a sunlight through a prism. But let's go ahead and click Remove Chromatic Aberration. Now keep your eyes right here. Ready? 3, 2, 1. And it's disappeared. It's gone. I'm going to uncheck it. You can see it's back. I'm going to check it again, and you can see that it has been fixed. By using the Remove Chromatic Aberration checkbox, you're going to have much clearer, sharper images. And for those of you who do stock photography, this is one of the things that you can have your images rejected for. So make sure you check that box. All right, tip number 2. We're going to take a look at the cropping tool. Now I've got on the screen right now, I have a panorama that I created. I'm going to go ahead and hit the cropping tool, and you can see that we have the ability to focus our attention in a little bit more on part of the image. We can maybe take out parts of the image that aren't as interesting. But the other thing we can do is this. Let's say that the ocean here is not quite level. Let's go ahead and we're going to zoom in, here we go, on the ocean, and let's say it's just not quite horizontal. I can see it's not horizontal here. Well, what I can do is go back to the cropping tool, select an area outside the image, and slightly rotate it. Say I'm done, and now I have a level horizon. And this is very important whenever you're shooting over a body of water, particularly one that hits the horizon. Otherwise, it's going to look kind of odd with the water slanted. Tip number 3. All right, we're going to be using the spot removal tool. The spot removal tool will help us to remove distractions from our images. So let's take a look at this one on the screen right now of a trail through a snow-covered forest. Right here I have an issue. There is some debris in the trail. So I'm going to zoom in on it. And sure enough, there is some debris on the trail. I'm going to go ahead and click on the spot removal tool. And I'm just going to select this area. And you can see that it has disappeared. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple more. I'm going to slightly change the size of my spot removal. I'm holding down the control key, rolling my mouse button, and I'm going to click right here. And let's see, let's take this part out here, a little bit here, and I don't like these weeds sticking up over here. And done. There we go. Those distractions have been removed from your image. Now this is really great if maybe a bird or something is in the sky causing a little dot, or if there might have been some dust on your lens. Then you can go ahead and use it to remove that dusty area. Tip number 4. We're going to take a look at noise reduction. So this is an image I took at night looking south towards Phoenix. So you can see the city lights towards the bottom of the screen, the image, but you can see kind of the cloud of the Milky Way at the top. Now I'm going to zoom in here, And there is a lot of noise in the image, and also there's some color noise, so to speak. So I can see areas where it's a little bit redder. I can see some areas that's a little bit greener. So we're going to scroll down here to the noise reduction tools. And first I'm going to start off on luminance. I'm just going to increase it slightly. Let's see what happens. That did a little bit of work. Let's go ahead and increase the color. And that's going to help smooth out the difference in the red and the green bands that we see here in the nighttime sky. I can also increase the smoothness a bit to help, again, smooth out some of the roughness. Let's do a little bit of luminance. I'm doing just a little bit at a time. And of course, the goal is to try and drown out as much of that noise from this long exposure as possible. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn off what I just did and turn on, and you can definitely see a difference in the noise. And of course, if you're uploading your images for stock photography, excessive noise is one of the factors that could get your images rejected. Tip number 5, make only subtle changes. What I see quite a bit is people take their images and they crank that saturation up very high, and it might look cool, but to the trained eye, it's also very fake. So we want to be very careful when we're messing around with these slider bars. Now on the screen right now, you can see I've got a sunset image that's up, and I'm at the very top of the editing tools or the development tools here in Lightroom. This is generally where I start doing my editing of an image. So I'm only going to make some very subtle changes. Like for example here, let's go ahead and just do what everybody does and crank that saturation. You can see how fake and overbaked this becomes. So I'm going to take it down just a little. Now vibrance might be a better choice. Again, if you crank it all the way up, it's going to look cool, but very fake. So we're going to be very careful in this and only take a little bit here. Now I'm going to take a look at the shadows, and if you look at the mountains at the bottom, it brings out what you can't really see too easily. But if we zoom in, there's quite a bit of noise, so we're going to draw the shadows back just a little bit here. Now, next thing we're going to play with here is contrast. Contrast can actually do wonders when it comes to your color, but again, just a little bit. Now as I move up the contrast, I'm starting to get a lot of brightness here on the horizon, which may not be what I want, so I'm going to bring down the highlights just a little. And I can see that starting to make this area over here look a little fake. I'm going to bring down my vibrance just a tad, and that is a much more natural looking image. So move your slider bars very slowly and just a little bit at a time so that you don't end up with a fake looking image. All right, here's your pro tip, and it involves editing your images. So right now I have on my screen a photo shoot I did about a week or two ago. And I'm ready to start going through here and selecting what images I'm going to invest my time in on developing. Now, I recommend to all of you that you take anywhere from 3 to 5 images of the same subject, allowing your autofocus to refocus each time. That way you have a better chance of getting a clear, sharp image. If you only take one shot per subject, there's a good chance that you're going to have some blur. Well, let's take a look at this rare opportunity. So I was fortunate enough to capture a seal in the water as I was standing on a cliff above it. But not every one of these images are going to be worth my time to develop because the animal was moving and my camera was not set up to be able to capture moving objects. So a lot of these are going to be streaked out. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. And you can see, yes, this is a blurry image. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit my right arrow, move on to the next one. Again, blurry. That's blurry. There we go. That one is much more clear, and that one is even better. So this is an image I'm going to be investing my time on. So I'm going to press 1. And what happened is you can see set rating to 1, and down here at the bottom you can see there's 5 stars with one of my stars lit up. Let's go ahead and do a few more here. Definitely not. That's blurry, blurry, blurry. A little better. That's better. We're going to go ahead and put a 1 on that one. Okay, that's clear. 1. Blurry. All right, and that's pretty much done. Okay, so what I've done here is I've rated my images, and what I'm going to do is take this back to its tile view, select it to sort it based on the rating, and all the images, there you go, that I've rated with a single star are now at the top of the screen. These are the images I'm going to develop. Anything else, I'm not going to develop. So let's say I go through here and I say, you know what, this is just not working for me. I'm not going to continue developing. I go to the next one and I develop it, and it's to the point where I'm ready to go ahead and export it, give it the number 5. And then I keep going. Okay, this one, and you'll notice the ones with the number 5 jump over to the very left, telling me that they're ready to be developed. All I have to do is select all my 5-star images, click export, and Lightroom will go ahead and develop them. Now, if I'm doing image development where there may be multiple steps involved, then I'll use 2, 3, and 4 to just kind of denote which images pass to the next stage. This greatly accelerates my development process because I'm not wasting my time on images that are just not worth the effort. So I'm looking at sharpness, but I'm also taking a look at composition. And if both of those pass my test, I go ahead and give them 1 star, move to the next image. And of course, what I could do for the ones that didn't pass, I could always select all of those images and remove them from Lightroom. Where is my remove? There it is, remove photos. Now, of course, it's just going to remove the option of just removing them from Lightroom, not actually completely removing them from hard disk. So I'll still be able to come back to them later on if I need to. Well, that's it. Your tips on how to create better images with these easy tricks in Lightroom that will also help increase the number of images you have accepted at stock photography agencies. Now, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any episodes like next week, when I'm going to share with you the realities of working in the stock photography industry by sharing with you how much I made in the month of April. Also, if you could, consider opening your hearts and your homes to a shelter animal in need. And if you can't, please consider donating to your local animal shelter. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode.